I had seen a quote where it said, I miss who I was before life got heavy, And that same quote, I used to agree with that quote, I think a year or a few years ago. But when I really thought about it, you know, I miss who I was before life got heavy. It's truly not true for me no more. Because the person I'm trying to become requires me to leave the old habits, the old mindset, the old beliefs, you know? And I don't know about y'all, but if you just look at the things you used to do, and then you look at the things you're trying to do, a lot of times when you're trying to do something new, you have to stop doing the same old things you used to do. So do I miss my old self? No. And maybe life got heavy because I needed to walk into the person that I need to be, which is discipline, which is, strong belief in himself, strong belief in God, I'm just consistent in everything I do, and, it's crazy, but if I cared more about who I used to be compared to who I'm trying to be, I wouldn't be, in the grind. I wouldn't be working towards anything. I'd be so focused on just trying to enjoy life, which ain't nothing wrong with, but you can also work and enjoy life, Now, I can reword that, but when I say work and enjoy life, saying you're always gonna have to work towards something, even the thing you love, but you just change your outlook because it's not work to you because you love doing it. And the things I used to do was like my old beliefs, and honestly, I'm just keep it real with y'all. I'm trying to become, a totally different version of myself, and this old version of me is like I have to, it's like I have to kill it every day. Like when I face adversity, I used to run to old, music that I used to listen to, and now in this version of me, I can't really get caught up in that stuff, The way I used to think back then, and it's just I really didn't believe in myself. And then this version of me truly believe in himself, to the point where I'm willing to do the work. So, when I think about who I used to be compared to now, and then I think about when life got heavy, I thank God life got heavy, I thank God because if it didn't, I would still have the same belief about myself. I wouldn't know what I'm good at or what I could accomplish, and seeing that quote, it made me think about pain. Pain is good for each and every one of us, even though we don't want to go through it, even though we don't want to suffer. It reveals something in us, pain, suffering. So whenever we're going through that, it always reveals something within us, whether we're strong, whether we're consistent, whether we can pursue, whether we can not pursue but be persistent, whether we're able to endure. Pain and suffering reveal who you are. And I'm truly trying to fully, right now in my life, I'm currently trying to kill the old habits I used to do. Running towards music when I'm going through a hard time instead of praying, reading my Bible. And it's hard, bro, And I always tell y'all, I want y'all to know I'm still working on myself, but I'm still willing to put in the work while working on myself, And to anybody out there, don't miss the old you, The new version of yourself will always be the best version of yourself. That version of yourself should require you to be disciplined, hunger for God, more hungry to pray, more hungry to become a leader, more hungry to listen, to humble yourself. And I'm starting to see on social media, don't be humble, but it literally says God favors the humble and resists the proud. So if God favors the humble and resists the proud, I'd rather be humble. I want to be accepted by God, not by man. You care what I'm saying? I care to be accepted by God and not by man. Because what God got for me, nobody can stop. You get what I'm saying? And I'd rather be humble anyway. I'd rather work towards something and still be able to connect with people. I never want to feel like I reached a goal and then I'm higher than you. No, because you know what? Life still goes on, and we still gonna have problems. You know, as long as you're alive, eventually you have to die, and everything we have is not coming with us. You know, so I don't want to allow the things I worked hard for or my accomplishments to make me feel like I'm higher than the next man, or I can't talk to this man because I got more than him. I always want to be able to connect with people. I always want to be able to be right there to encourage, help, or inspire, you know. I don't want to use the things I accomplished and the things I have to look down on another man, you know. And being humble, nothing is wrong with being humble, you know, nothing is wrong with it. You should never want to show your hand all the time. I mean, it's cool that you showed the card, but what's your reasoning, you know? It's all about your reasoning on why you want to do it, you know? And that's what stage I'm at right now in my life, where I'm trying to kill the old habits, you know? So when I think about that quote, it's like, I miss who I was before life got heavy. No, I don't, you know? And if I could go back, I would change the things I used to do early so I don't have to struggle with that now, because, you know, when I'm trying to discipline myself to go to the gym, the old me is thinking, what's the point, you know? Or the old me is thinking, just stay in the bed, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I'm fighting against myself. You know, you got my spirit and then my flesh, and it's like they just warring against each other, you know? And it's like I know to do this thing, but now I can't do it. And, you know, in this season of my life, I just want to keep God close as possible, you know? I want to continue to walk into the new beginnings. I want to continue to change my outlook on life, especially when adversity comes. I've been falling short of just like, you know, the old habits of listening to music that I know is not good for me. But because it feels good, because I'm used to doing this, it's a struggle, you know? And it's like, the more you do something that you know is not good, it becomes very hard to stop. You know, it becomes very hard. You know, we be thinking we in control of not doing it no more. Or it's just like smoking. You tell yourself you can quit, but just quit. You know, but you can't quit if you continuously go back to it. And that's how it is for me, where I can't quit nothing that I keep going back doing. And I'm truly trying to, you know, force myself to stay focused, stay rooted in God, and just stay disciplined. You know, I truly want to be honest with y'all on this channel that I am not perfect. You know, I'm not greater than any of y'all. I'm still a human being who still need God help every day. I need his hand in my life. I need to stay grounded. I need to stay disciplined. And I truly want y'all to grow with me on this channel. I want to continue to share vulnerable topics. I'm going to share, you know, anything that could connect with y'all, that y'all would want me to speak on. I want y'all to share that in the comments, you know, and I just truly want to become relatable and honest. You know, this channel, I'm just going to be very raw, honest, and just relatable about life. I'm also going to create another channel where I add people to talk about their life stories and their struggles and pain, you know, because I do have a way of connecting with others and seeing like what I can learn from their life, you know. Like I can see the things they've been through, and then I could look at my life and say, yeah, I need to stop doing this to avoid going through that, you know. So on that channel, it will be in the description below. And I'm going to catch y'all in another video. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for the support. And y'all stay blessed.